Well, I've lived in Beeston, Rylands, for 8 years, and love living on this street, Elswick Drive. Got involved in the community after I came here from West Whitford, and things just happened. I was semi-retired, hoping to carry on doing my feature writing in the arts and heritage field, and got the opportunity to have a little get together here in 2013 of finding I was meeting lots of artists and creatives in the area and local councillors, so I invited them along here to just for a get together really. And then afterwards, they said, when's the next one? So I thought, oh, you want me to do some little networking events, do you? And they said, that would be nice. So that's what happened. And that's how Art, Culture, Tourism, my community group, evolved. At the first one that was held in Beeston at Anglo-Scotian Mills, our landmark building, and we had about 35 people turn up for the first one, so I followed it up, and that was a lace exhibition, mini lace exhibition, and the second one followed in March 2014, and I called it Cultures Crossing. And so I brought, a type of artists, musicians, poets, to come and say their little bit and perform, and that was very successful. So it ever went on from there really. So I promote Beeston, art, culture, tourism wise, and it's developed into collaborating with other parts of the UK and Europe, especially Italy. So I like building bridges, between the UK and whatever country, and promoting and putting all these artists on the international stage. So that's basically what's been happening for the last 6.5 years, and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy the mentoring, and I enjoy talent spotting. It's in my nature, and I like to encourage creatives, along their pathway. So, and I just love it here. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Well, probably half the time.
I'm guessing for you with your connections with Italy, you probably kind of became aware of it really well before people in the UK. So can you talk a little bit about sort of how COVID sort of became in your consciousness?
Yes, it was like the beginning of March, or even earlier, hearing about what was happening in China, and how fast it progressed, the virus, to Italy. And my first concern was with my good friend over there, Roberto Alberghetti, who lives in Bergamo, and we were all anxious to know how they were coping there, and I was seeing what was on the TV, what was on the news, and how the hospitals there were trying to cope, and it was very emotional, to watch things like that, with the doctors and nurses speaking really honestly and directly, and so it really hits home. And it was quite difficult, really difficult to take in all that, what my father has said all through from childhood is, your number one in life is your health and well-being, because when you're sick, you can't look after your family and loved ones. and it's just the most important thing. So your immediate reaction is, your family, wherever they are, in the UK, in the world. And I remember getting in touch with them, whether it was on the phone or by Facebook message or something. How are you? How are you coping? Because before then, in February, I was planning little trips around the UK to see old friends, type of like a weekend here and a weekend there. And they were all expecting me. I said, oh, that's great. And then, of course, can't do that anymore. But it just reaffirms your friendship, those friendships, and that you're thinking of them and they're thinking of you, and I think that's important. So yeah, I think what was happening in Italy and how it was going to affect us here, I was obviously very, very, very keen, and how they were coping with it, their reactions.
At that point, did you think it was going to affect us in the way it has done?
I wasn't convinced at the time, no, but very concerned, obviously, and obviously concerned for the most vulnerable, when it did type of come at full flack here. My immediate reactions were those people that live in abused households, and the mothers with their children, and having an abusive partner that wouldn't let them go out, and I think when I started seeing different police reports or what had happened, and how it did come to light that it had increased, the emergency messages to the police. I think that's what I first thought of, and obviously what the key workers were going through, and it's our first reaction, how you can help as a community.
Just talk a little bit about how it affected you, Marysia, if you could.
Well, because I'm based at home anyway, and I am mobile, and I have a car, which I'm fortunate to have, and I live semi-rural, really, so I've got all the countryside on my doorstep. It didn't really affect me very much. I mean, I stayed at home, and just thought, well, I do write a lot, and communicate. That's my business. So I just carried on doing it, basically. As regards art, culture, tourism with ACT, we had just started in February doing podcasts in the community, and we started off with having one locally above a coffee shop about what's on local, and then we decided come March, with what was happening, that we would just pivot to digital, and we called it What's on Digital. So we carried on doing those once a month, and I chose guests to come on to have a talk. So they evolved into a 30-minute podcast, and obviously it made me want to write more. So I started doing weekly blogs about anything, any subject, and that really kept me going, really. And also having that closeness to nature, where we are now, and I'm always inspired by nature and the environment. So I was out there in my garden a lot more.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your garden, because obviously, you did the video and you took pictures and things. So I'm guessing for you, being out in your garden actually was one of the things that probably did keep you sane.
Yeah, and it is. My garden is my journey in life. That's where I go and sit every morning with my cup of coffee, and plan my day or think ahead or vision ahead, and I know, and it makes me think of my family, my mum and dad, because there's reminders of them in the garden. So that was very, very important. And obviously, and what I didn't do during lockdown so much was do enough walking out in the parks and fields. I tended to stay indoors, and I'm not very good at doing exercises indoors. But walking is the best thing.
Was that because you were worried about going outdoors, or is it just this felt safe in here?
It just felt safe in here, and and obviously when the weather did get better, but I'm fortunate enough to have a garden, so I could get out and get the fresh air. But it took me some time to get into that rhythm again, the routine. I didn't feel isolated because you can easily pick up the phone and talk to somebody, and because we've got such great neighbours along here, I knew that if I was wanting something and I had an accident or something like that, I could contact them, or I could rush round and see them at distance. Can you do it? And I know that they would do it straight away for me, and that's what community is all about, to help you. But on the whole, I did okay. Yeah.
Good. That's really good to hear, actually. Yeah. A lot of people working from home kind of like the idea of that. I know you were doing that anyway, but you said you took the What's On Guide digital. Is that something that you'll continue? Do you think you'll carry on with those things?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I really enjoyed doing the podcasts. I think I'd like to carry on doing them. In fact, I'd like to have my own chat show, basically, where I can invite my guests, whether it's, in fact, have my own radio show and or TV show. It just comes to, I like interviewing people and seeing what happens, So we don't know. We don't know what will happen. There are great plans ahead that are happening very shortly for ACT, and I can't really say anything at the moment, but we're getting lots of support, and we probably about the end of September we'll be able to make an announcement. But I've had such fantastic volunteer interns that have come from me, and who've helped me over the last 1.5 years, including university students, and I'd like to also, I've done things, I've achieved things over those 6 years, and it's a legacy there now, and I want that legacy to go on. So I can concentrate more on my writing and books. Actually, we all want to write our books, don't we? I think it's and what I found working with creatives all around me was that how well they embraced lockdown, and they managed to finish off projects that had been going on for years, and started new projects. So they, really enjoyed it, and it's just made people think differently, and how important life is, and how they approach it now. Having worked in the hotel and travel tourism business for a long time, I'm always watching what's going on worldwide, and which travel industries are really suffering and won't come back for quite some years. The COVID-19 will always be around us, and I think people have got to realise that, and it will adapt, and into different methods, and I think we all have to be very aware that our health and safety is first and foremost, and if we can travel safely within the UK, I'm very hesitant about obviously going on a plane or going to Europe at the moment, because we are told that there's a second wave coming, towards the end of the year, and I would prefer to just enjoy it. If we do need to get out and travel a bit, that's fine. I'm still wary of public transport. I have an older son in London, and so he tells me about the underground and how packed that is at the moment. He doesn't want to go on it, but his partner does use it. So, and I think it's terrific that people are buying or getting second-hand bicycles, because it means that we are going to get fit now and do all that cycling and walking. I've got my old rally bike in the garage, and I keep saying, yes, I'm going to get it out. And making people think of their body, and if they are overweight, then get on that bike, and go out with your family. We've got fantastic facilities here and pathways, and for family cycling, and just get everybody out, get the children out. It's nature all the way. It inspires you, and we can. It's funny actually talking about invitations I've got to go to Italy, and so what I do is I blog about imaginary journeys with my friends over there, encourage them to do co-blogging with me, and so I'm always in touch with them to see how their hotels and their tourism business is going, and that's really interesting for me, and it just gives me some foresight. But I do look forward to going abroad again, but I think it gives people here in Britain that opportunity to go to other places of this beautiful country that we live in, that they've never been to before, to those places. So go out and do it, So there's a lot to discover in your own land. even if it's just so many miles away. and you say, oh, I've never been there before. Do you know what? I think I better go now. So yeah, I think it's what has evolved, with ACT here and over the years, and over the 6 years I've been, is how important community is, and it's the most important thing where you are living, and during lockdown, as you say, you get to know your neighbours more. You know quite a lot. I know quite a lot on my street now, and it's very encouraging, that they're there, and so yeah, it is all about community and about supporting local food and drink suppliers, and our local farmers, and our local fruit and veg and meat, and going into the town of Beeston, and just being receptive and talking to people, and helping in any way that you can. Because businesses have to survive now. This is usually a very busy student town. We won't get as many international students living here, but UK students, I think, as far as I know, will be coming here. So I love it. I love Beeston. There you go.